Good morning, my tiki-talkies. How is everyone doing this morning? Hopefully you are more awake than I am. You know, I slept really good last night, so I don't know why I'm sleepy today. But nonetheless, I'm less sleepy than I was last night on the 2 lives that I did yesterday afternoon and last night. For those of you that are just joining, I was thinking about doing something for Mother's Day. Given that Mother's Day is coming up, I figured that might not be a bad idea. Something handmade, painted for your mother for Mother's Day might not be a bad gift. But I was trying to decide what a good gift for that would be. And I'm really hot. This light gets really hot, you guys. So I'm thinking maybe either a painting, maybe a bookmark, something like that. And I would love to have some of your input on that if you wouldn't mind chit-chatting about it for a moment. So Mother's Day, what are we thinking? Are we thinking painting? Are we thinking a bookmark? Are we thinking a card? What are we thinking we want to do for that? So let me know your thoughts, because that's what I'm thinking. I was also thinking we could take some old paintings, maybe cut them up and make them into some sort of collage work. Or we could make a card and cut some watercolor stuff out and put it on the card. So just a lot of things that I had thought about and was hoping to get some of your input on, but not married to anything, so except my husband. It doesn't look like anybody's chatty today. All right, looks like I'm on my own for this one. And if that's the case, I might need to think about it a little bit more before I commit to something. So let's just do some abstract work today, because I love abstract work. So as usual, I'm going to take my tape. I'm going to tape this down. May not be totally even. Might try to make it just a little bit better than that. There we go. And it doesn't need to be perfect, like I always say. There we go. And then let's see here. Hopefully you guys can see this still. I know it's a little cut off. I can move my camera if need be. But here we go. All right. So I was thinking we could have a little fun today. What do you think? Let's do something a little different than we've done before. And I think, does it? No, I think that's just a reflection of something else. I was going to say, let's just pour a little bit of water in the center. And bam! Fun, right? All right. So now I am going to take some instant coffee, and I'm going to put some of that all over up in here. See what that does. See where that goes. And then after it's dried, I'll get the extra powdery stuff off. There. I wish I could tell you that this smelled really good, because I'm sure that it does, but I haven't been able to smell anything for weeks. So I feel like I'm missing out quite a bit. My regulars know what I'm talking about. I don't think they're on here yet this morning. Let's just blow off the excess. All right, I'm gonna dry this. And if you need to dissolve some of that coffee in there, just take a spray bottle, spray it. You could even take a little wooden stick, or just have a skewer on hand, and just kind of work it like that. There we go. And because this is cheap paper, you don't really need to worry about messing it up. Because if you mess it up, it's no big deal. And it dries fast. And if you have extra water, you can use this to kind of blow some of that water around. But the whole idea is to just whack it and see where things go. It's fun. Good morning, everyone who has just joined. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We are just doing some art, playing around. I do abstract art, mostly mixed media type stuff. This morning we are working with some instant coffee to start with. And we are just working on drying this so we can continue. Party of 8 said, just joined the live, so I missed the first part. What medium are you using to mix the coffee with? Just water. So what I did was I just took a little jar of water, poured a little bit in the middle, and then just smacked it with my hand. That's why it kind of looks like my hand. Soft shell crabby. So I did, I don't think you were on here yet, but I haven't been able to smell anything in weeks. And because I've been sick with something, and I had mentioned, I was like, I'm sure this smells amazing, but I can't smell it, unfortunately. But yeah, I wish that I could, because I bet it does smell amazing. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I usually have some regulars that hop on my lives every day. I go live every day, usually between 8:45 and 9 Eastern time in the morning. And they know about my whole issue with, I got put on Topamax, if you're familiar with it, for my migraines, on top of my regular migraine medication. And I didn't know it, but apparently upper respiratory infection is like one of the side effects. It's not just like you're more prone to them, it's an actual side effect. And so luckily they backed off my dose on that, so some of those other side effects are gone, but this one has been the lingering one, and so for weeks I've been trying to get it gone, and I haven't been able to smell anything. I can't hear out of this ear because like my eustachian tube is like, you know, clogged or whatever, so it's been fun, but I can still taste my coffee, so cheers to that. All right, this is taking forever to dry, and the more I look at this, the more I don't like that it looks like my handprint, so I'm just gonna smack it again, just a little bit, and now I'm gonna dry it again. Apparently I'm just into smacking things this morning. Oh, my doggy came in here. She's like, why are you mad? As if I smack things when I'm mad. Oh, she's a pupper. All right, come on, dry, coffee dry. I still see my thumbprint. It's like a little chubby baby hand. Don't worry, we'll do something else with it so it won't look so weird. It's like a 4-fingered baby hand with a chunky little wrist. I miss when my babies had chunky little hands. But I don't miss the sleepless nights or the mid-overnight wakes. Too old for that. SHIT. No. Okay. I think those shiny areas that look like they're not dry are actually just the coffee, because they are dry. So I'm going to just spray my hand real quick because it's a little sticky. Get that coffee off of there. All right, next we're going to do it again because we want to layer, but let's pour in some different areas. We'll go there. We'll go there. And some of this is going to run, and that's okay. I don't care. There. All right, so this time let's do a fist. Let's go bam. And then let's go closed fist down. Bam. And then maybe back fist like karate. Wham. And then open hand. Bam. Over the whole thing. All right. I just Chuck Norris the crap out of it, right? Or Karate Kid or Cobra Kai, whichever you fancy. There we go. All right, so I kind of like the way this is, you know, fading out this way. I do want to take just a little bit more coffee though, and I'm going to take this. And again, I'm just using this cheapo crap. I think we got it from Publix at one point. And I'm not going to overdo it this time. I'm just going to, because I do like these lighter areas here. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it into some areas and call it a day. Now, after that, while it's still wet, I'm going to take just a little brush. I'm using my number 8 Princeton Heritage, and I'm just going to kind of move some of it around. Just a little blendy. I don't really want a lot of these like sand dunes, I guess is what I would call them. Don't want as many as the first one. So I'm just kind of blending. I like what we got going so far. What do you guys think? Is this fun? We having fun yet? All right. So this looks good. Happy with this. Let's get this dried. I wish I could smell it because I bet it smells amazing. I bet it smells better than my coffee tastes, but don't tell my coffee I said that. My coffee would be like, bitch. I will remember that you said that. And then my coffee maker will be like, I'm just not going to work for you tomorrow. Taco Bell, yeah. Man, I had to go so bad, I just went right on the paper, you know what I'm saying? I call this airbrushing with the other end, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. I want to know where all my regulars are. I have so many people joining. I'm so excited about this, but I don't see any of my familiar faces this morning. It's like TikTok forgot to tell them. Where's my Jen McCole and my Cat Mama and my Feral Mom and my Katie and my JRW? Huh? And my Crafted by Curiosity and my Make and Bloom. Just my ugly green face. Green? How dare you? Life is Surreal says, hi Jen, I'm Jenny. Nice to meet you, Jenny. Thanks for letting me know your name. I like names. I usually keep a list of people's names once I get to know them a little bit and I see them. Oh yeah, and Talia, I haven't seen Talia because she's been in Vegas. So, you know, I love new people though. I just feel like I don't get to be fully Jen until like one of my people arrive because, you know, you guys don't know me like that yet. I'm so glad that you like to paint too. What do you paint with? Acrylics, watercolor, oil, everything? Oh, so you are a virgin, I see. Yes, this is instant coffee. Excellent. We do a ton of watercolor up on this channel. I go live daily between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Let's see, me, my face be green. Okay, so my face be speckled. Watercolor is my arch nemesis, but I won't give up. Okay, soft shell crabby, then you have found the right place because this is taking forever, you guys. Because we go live, so like I said, I go live every day. And one of the things that I do is I teach people to give up their control over watercolor, because once you learn to do that, it's a lot more fun. So, like this, I have two people, Lori and Jill, which is JRW, and we decided that once every 2 weeks at night, we are going to go live and we are going to just hang out and do like a multi-guest situation. And we're going to make a watercolor sort of thing like this together, because this is one of those things where, like, if you just let go of the perfection and you go along with whatever's on here, you can make something really cool. And so we did this one in our last session, and what they turned out with was amazing. So that is some of what we do. Here's another one. These look complicated, but they're so simple. Oh, tell her I said thank you. Too much coffee already. Yeah, I do get shaky when I start doing the art and drinking this at the same time. I'm trying to see some of these here. I'll just show you some of them. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to necessarily any of these, but okay, one night, so at one point I was going live 2 and 3 times a day just to figure out where my my audience best fit into, you know, watching. So we did like this little whimsical whale thing, and then the next day we were like, oh, let's do a stingray just like it to go with it. So we did this one. And then we had, thank you. Oh, she's 6. I used to have a 6-year-old. Now he's almost 8. And then I have another one that's 10 and another one that's about to be 12 and another one that's 14. Anyway, then there's this one, just kind of a sloppy watercolor. There's this one. Also, by the way, I post the replays to these on my website. I'm still behind getting them up, but if you like any of these, there's a good chance you can catch the replays on my website. So you can see, oh, we made a doodle Bible because I love to doodle. I call this the moldy petri dish, but it was supposed to be a moon. So I'm just going through all the ones we've made together. This was an experiment that turned out really ugly, but it was so fun. It does go too fast. So just showing you real quick some of the stuff that we've done, because I feel like, you know, oh, this is one I did on Amazon Live the other day. That was part of it too. So lots of cool stuff, and that's not even all of it, you guys. So just keep that in mind. You can always catch the replays on my site. Link is in my bio, all that good stuff. Thank you. So yes, watercolor may be your nemesis, but it doesn't have to be. You just have to learn to let go of the control. And once you let go of that control, you start working with it, and then you start gaining the control. It's kind of like release your inhibitions, and then once you kind of start working with it regularly, it becomes more second nature. But the more you try to control it at first, the more frustrated you'll become. So yeah. Alrighty. So I think this is about as good and dry as I need it to be for now. And so there. Okay. So we've got some options here. I think I'm going to stick with just the coffee for this. I don't feel the need to bring in any other watercolors. However, what I do like to do is bring in some India inks, and I'm going to bring in, I'm trying to decide if I want to go with the matte or the glossy or the sepia. So I have a black matte, a black glossy, and a sepia India ink. And I feel like because this is a good brown, the brown tone would be nice, but I also really want to bring in some like dark black. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe I might just go for the black. We'll make that decision. Okay, so I'm going to go with the matte black since there's some shininess in the coffee, and we can always bring in other shimmer because that's what I do all the time. I love to draw with the dropper that it comes with. So I'm just going to start by doing kind of just a big botanical on it, and then we'll start kind of filling in from there. So I'm going to pick probably this side and just make this sort of mark here, and then let's do this. I love the inconsistent lines that it brings and how it looks really sketched. You can see the paper was still a bit wet there, and I'm not mad about that. Brings in some visual interest. Bring in one more right here. And I'm just going to put like a little indication there. And then from here, what I might do is just kind of bring in some little smaller, ooh, that one looks like a peen. We don't want that. All right, so some of that. And then I like to bring in a little bit of mark making alongside it. So let's do just some scratchy dots kind of up the side. There we go. All right, let's see here. I can't get my paper to not warp. I bought 600 GSM paper and it still warps. That's just the nature of it because it's usually made with some form of cotton. So if you have 600 GSM paper, I don't know what brand it is, but it's probably got a lot of cotton in it. The best paper you can buy is Arch's watercolor paper, which looks like this. This is one I'm in the process of working on. I think it's 300 GSM, but it is 100% cotton. So cotton expands when it's wet, it shrinks when it's dry. So you're going to get that buckling no matter what. I feel like it's less, I can't say it's less when it's Arches, but if you tape it down, of course it'll get better. The crappier the paper, the worse the buckling. So when it's got fillers in it that is not cotton, I feel like you get worse buckling, but still when you tape it down, it's good. The point though is that once you dry it, it will lay flat again, or at least as flat as it can be. And as I mentioned, you know, we do have, I'll show you like this, you know, I have all these paintings we've been doing. This looks relatively flat, but if I turn it to the side, you can see it's not. One thing you could do if you want it to be flatter, I've done this before. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close, is you can turn it around, mist the back, and then use an iron to flatten it, and it gets pretty close. So that's just something you could consider. But if you have like gold foil on the other side where you've used an adhesive sizing, that could heat that up and make it goopy, and then you could ruin it. So just a thought on that. Okay, so we've got that going, and let's bring in some stuff over here. I don't want to overdo it since this is kind of the star of the show. So probably over here, I might just bring in maybe just a circle of some sort. And maybe one that's kind of off to the side here. And then that'll be done for that one. And let's see here. I want this to dry a little bit, but I also want to start bringing in some golden tones because I love me some golden tones. Let me see what I have over here really quick. I don't want my iPad to knock over my coffee. And I don't want it to knock this over either. And my coffee's gone. Must have caught wind that I was talking bad about it. So I had this little goodie box of all my crap that I like to use on a daily basis. This is a pretty good contender because I love this gold. It's like my favorite acrylic gold. But I think because it's so close to the coffee color, I might go with this one. This is bronze, so it's a little bit different. The other option is we could do some gold foil, or my favorite is the Winsor & Newton gold ink. I actually just got a brand new one in last night because I'm almost gone with this one. I've bought this one so many times. I went with the big one this time just because now that I'm doing lives every day, I go through it so much faster. So anyway, this is my absolute favorite. But again, the tone, I don't know if that bright yellow tone is necessarily what I want to go for. So I'm thinking, ooh, hang on, I've got one other one. I've got this, oh no, that's probably too close. Right. So I'm thinking, I think this one's ugly. Let's see. Yeah, that one's too like yellow ugly. So let's just bring in the bronze. Bronze isn't going to hurt anybody. And let's see, I'm going to bring in my Posca pen and my white gel pen as well as a just in case, because those are typically things that I would use. And then I'm going to bring in my, I think I'm going to use this one. Oh, no. I'm going to use this. So this is a catalyst, Princeton catalyst. I use this to apply pastes. I use this to paint with sometimes, you know, all sorts of random stuff. So I'm going to bring this one in. I'm going to give this time to dry a little bit more so that we can start doing some mark making over that. But in the meantime, let's work with this. I do wish my hands could tolerate opening this better, but it doesn't. So, all right, this is what the bronze looks like. Again, it's got like a green undertone instead of that gold undertone. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the edge here. And what I'm going to start by doing is just kind of dragging and flicking. So you get kind of these, I don't know what you would even call it. It's just mark making. And that's just what I call it. And then you could take it and you could start making marks like this. Now I'm looking at this and I feel like I'm not seeing it. I really thought this would stand out better. So let me grab that gold and we're going to try that and see how that goes. I don't want to use too much of it. We're just going to put it on the tape over here. Yeah, see, I feel like you can see that, but I also don't really mind the layering aspect of it. I actually think the layering looks pretty nice. Let me bring you in a little bit closer. It's going to look wonky for a sec. My apologies. Let's do this. Bring you in closer so you can see that. So you're looking down here. You can see it's got kind of this darker situation here, and then the gold kind of goes over it. Looks pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's kind of what I'm gonna go for here, because you can't really see this area as well. But if I were to bring this over the top, then you'd be able to see it better. And I think it gives a nice little something to the base of this, because when it's not over here, it doesn't look as obvious. So I'm gonna just come back over here and I'm gonna kind of just add a couple of flicks of this over the top. Same right here. I'm going to go the other way too. That way it's not just kind of this random stuff. There's Feral Mom. Lori, good morning. I have so many people in here this morning and none of them are my regulars. None. And I'm like, where are my regulars? I need a regular so that I can be regular. Just kidding. My coffee keeps me regular. All right. So now I'm going to go to the other side of this to grab some of this here on this side. And I'm going to do some more of this kind of textured work because I do really like that down here. And we'll just kind of dab, dab, dab. I'm going to turn it over to that golder color. Dab. Have a lot going on over here. I'm here. It's not like you have a job or something. Way to rub it in. We have a joke because I'm an unemployed freeloader, as we've discussed. Well, I haven't discussed it with the new folks yet, but I am an unemployed freeloader, trying to not be. Hey, but today is my 6-month official layoff anniversary. Can you believe it? It's been 6 months and I've given up trying. All right. I'm not hating this, but I don't want to overdo it either. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more of this over here and do that. Still waiting for this ink to dry a bit more over here, but I think we're in a good spot. Okay. So I'm going to rinse off my catalyst here. You know, when I worked for Aetna way back in the day, I started working for Aetna in 2004 and I got laid off in 2010. And it was like the best thing that ever happened. I was so excited about it. I was like, yes, like, please, you know, like when I heard layoffs were coming, I was like, oh, I hope it's me. I hope it's me. Because at the time I had started my photography business. I wanted to go full time with it and blah, blah, blah. And so that was just like a great excuse to go full time with it. And so when I got laid off, I was like, shh, yes. But this one I really loved. I really loved that job. And I liked the company that I worked for. I liked the benefits. I liked the steady paycheck. Did not see it coming whatsoever. So I was very upset. But I feel like I've gotten my frustrations out with it. So I'm good. I'm good now. Okay. So now we've got this going. This is going to take a bit to dry. Still waiting for this to dry. And I want to add a little bit more black in amongst all of this. So I'm going to bring in my Posca marker, which is a number 10. Yeah, Lori, I had like 15 people in here this morning, none of which were my regulars. I was like, the TikTok lords have forgiven me. My workplace is so toxic. Already been in tears twice today. Oh my good gosh. That's awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hate to hear when employers are terrible. And I hear stories about this all the time from loved ones of mine. You guys know I love the dot. Well, Lori knows I love the dots. All of my new folks, I love dots. And so what I'm doing is basically creating visual flow and interest horizontally through the painting by adding dots. I'm really excited about doing more abstracts. Me too. I was telling, hang on, let me get their name. I don't know if they're still here, but I was telling Soft Shell Crabby and, yeah, Soft Shell Crabby about how we got on that live and did the multi-guest and we were creating the mixed media stuff. and how we were going to start making it like a regular thing, and talking about, you know, letting go of, you know, the control of watercolor and whatnot. So hopefully they'll join us on our next one, which will probably be not today, Friday, but next Friday. That's the plan anyway. I haven't officially like made it a plan, but I just need to look at my calendar. But, you know, every other Friday I spend with my bestie. Tonight is no different, so I'll be at my bestie's, wearing pajamas and eating sushi in bed and chatting it up, and then watching Grace and Frankie, because we cool. Pray that the Lord lead you to a new job, a better job with better pay. Amen. Let's see here. If y'all are enjoying this, please like the live. She is the bomb. Oh, you're so sweet, Lori. Thank you. Oh, Lori, that reminds me. Look what I got in the mail. I went for the big one this time. I was like, gosh, I'm going through this so fast. Hasn't even been a month and it's almost gone. So I wish I could show you how much is left here. Let me make a mark on it. That's how much I have left. But you can see it's not much in the glitter. That's just like the oil on top of it. So I'm excited. But yeah, so I cut this one in. I'm like, got this big chunky guy. Let's see here. Grace and Frankie are riots. I love them. Yes, me too. We love watching Grace and Frankie. This is like our third time around. Third time around watching it. She's Frankie. I'm Grace. She's listed as Frankie Bergstein in my phone. The picture I have for her in my phone is of her, is of Grace and Frankie when they're going up in the balloon, the hot air balloon, at the end of season 3, I think it is. Maybe it's season 2, but I think it's season 3. And it's right before she moves to Santa Fe. I'm so glad that show happened, though. I've always said I'm an old lady at heart, and now that I'm middle-aged, I feel like I'm finally starting to become that old lady at heart. And I feel like they just personify that so well. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Let me go back up. Good morning, Smile. I found out from my son that the Bombay inks are marked down to $5 at Michael's. No. Okay, wait. Okay, I got this one for $5.49 at Hobby Lobby, so never mind. But on Amazon, they're like $9.99 each. I'm like, come on. How old is middle-aged? I just kind of figure once you hit your 40s, you're middle-aged. I'm 42. Yet I'm still wearing this Van Gogh shirt that I got at Ross. I'm pretty sure it was in the junior section, and it's like I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a mid-drift shirt, but I don't care because I like it. It's got this Van Gogh thing on the back. Makes me feel young again. Not really, it's just comfortable. I absolutely love that show. The Meaner Daughter makes me laugh. Oh my gosh, I know. Mallory is hysterical. I used to think old age was 40. Now that I'm in my 60s, I think that's middle age. Yeah, I know. It's like I used to think when you were like in your late 20s, you were like set for life and you were like a really mature adult. And then when I got to be 28, I'm like, I don't know the first thing about life. What the was I thinking, you know? Smile says, I've got to stop buying stuff. I buy, but never have time to create. Oh. Yeah. So I think I'm going to do something a little different here because I feel like some of these black dots get kind of lost in this coffee. And so I'm going to use this gel pen that Lori turned me on to, aka Feral Mom. And I'm going to use some of these, or use this to create some of these same white dots, or these same dots, I should say, in white, alongside these black ones to bring in some contrast and help bring in some visual flow, if you will. Let's see. I don't think that helps much, but it is kind of pretty. What kind of paper did you use the coffee on? Watercolor paper. The same Hobby Lobby crap I use every day. Okay, so I only put it in this like darker section here. And I feel like you can't really tell that well, but whatever. Okay, let's see here. Thank you. Maybe the black dots would have stood out more if you put the gold on first or white first. Maybe. I feel like in person you can see it better. When I zoom in on the TikTok Live Studio app here on my my laptop, I feel like it kind of distorts things, like almost, it's not pixelated, but it kind of distorts it in a way that doesn't really show its true look, if you will. So I think that's also part of it. But I am, now that this ink is dry, going to see if I can start adding some highlights here. There we go. And I don't know that I want to do a lot here since this is already kind of on this white. I don't want it to disappear. And so then let's go back over here and grab our bronze and trying to decide the best way to apply this. Probably going to be with a brush, but I'm trying to decide which brush. I think it's going to be with my script liner. If I could find it. Where did you go, script liner? This might be what I end up having to use if I can't find it, but I know it's in here somewhere. Aha, there it is. I don't like this one because it's too long. All right, so I have this script liner. It's just a Hobby Lobby brush. And I'm going to take this and dunk it in here. Try to get a nice sharp point on it. like this. And then here, I'm going to be very, very careful to not put my hand in anything else. And I'm going to start by just kind of painting into these dots or scratchy things here. And we'll go over it with the other gold too, but for now I want to do that. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of water because I want to loosen up some of this paint a bit. And then I'm going to kind of just start adding some little lines here. I don't want them to disappear. And so I'm not going to do it all over the black lines, but just kind of accentuating them a little bit. Okay, I think this is dry. There. So I'm going to just kind of use the tip of the brush to kind of pull up and push down to bring some of that, some of those broken lines, thinner lines, thicker lines, all that good stuff. This is where my coffee shake hand actually comes in handy. And this is still wet, so I'm just trying to give that time to dry a little longer. Same with this one right here. And then this. Probably make that one just a bit thicker since these lines are thin. Kind of just want to drag it around and make some thicker lines like that. All right. Get. I mean, is it really art daily if you don't make a mess on yourself? That's just what I'm saying. Let's see here. Wait first. I'm sure it does. That's the best way to wipe down an acrylic. What's the best way to wipe down an acrylic painted canvas to start over? You don't wipe it down. You just paint over it. Maybe you need less coffee, love. I actually only drink about 8 ounces of coffee. It's just that I'm getting old now, so it affects me more. Actually my coffee is only about 2 ounces of coffee and 6 ounces of oat milk. If it's old and maybe dirty and dusty. Oh, good question. I would say maybe vacuum it first to try to get all the dust off of it, and then wipe it down with a damp paper towel. That should do it. Let's see if any of this is still, no, that's not wet anymore. All right, so then I'm going to take this and I'll just use what's in the cap right here. Probably need to wet this one down too, but I'm going to start with these guys here. And I don't want to completely cover that bronze that we just put down. So I'm just kind of putting a little smear of this on top of it. There we go. And then I'm going to put this here, grab a little bit more. Hey, come on. There we go. And then I'm going to grab water. Thank you. Is your oat milk unsweetened? I think so. It's the shelf-stable kind that doesn't have any like additives in it for like food thickening because it bothers my stomach. It's the it's basically just oat milk and water and I think some preservative that's like, I don't know, whatever makes it shelf stable that doesn't require refrigeration until you open it. But my dad has tremors, so part of me wonders if maybe that's just something I might be developing too. But it is worse when I've had coffee. Thank God I'm not a surgeon, huh? because that would not fly. I'm also going to add some of this just here on the white, just as a little accent. There we go. And over here, I don't think I need to add a whole lot, and I'm not going to add it over the bronze because I actually really like what the bronze is doing there. So I'm just going to kind of add some accents of this kind of here. There we go. Okay. Let me put this back on here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I did read the label, but it's been like over a year since I started buying it, so I honestly haven't paid attention. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do that either. Thank you for sharing your time with us today, Off to Work. Thank you for spending your time with me today, Lori Co. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a great Friday at work. All right, so I think this is looking pretty good. I still feel like I'm not seeing enough kind of contrast in this area. And I don't want to really do much more to it because I don't want to overdo it. I think where I'm also not enjoying this painting is the dots that I brought in, because you know I love dots, but I think they're a little too uniform for the scratchiness of the painting that's going on everywhere else. So I'm thinking probably the best way to try to balance this out would be to bring in a smaller botanical just right here in this bottom corner. So maybe this one can just be just a little guy like this. And maybe we'll put some little scratchy dots around him like this. And I think that'll help to balance it out a bit. I do want this to be just a hair thicker. And yeah, that's going to take a few to dry. So let's see here. No, they look good, but I wouldn't add any more. I mean, I think this looks good. I like this because I think it helps to balance out the flow of the painting. And I also think that once this dries, it won't look so shiny. It'll dry down and be like this. And so it'll become more subtle, but it'll still help balance it out a bit. But I don't think I'm going to add any gold to it just because you do have all this gold and bronze around it. Let me hit it with the heat gun to get it to dry really quick. And then I will show you the finished product. We'll do the tape pull, because you guys know I love a good tape pull. Almost there. Okay. So, let's see, if you want to brighten it up, you could put white dots on top of it. Now that I look at the coffee spill with the gold in the middle, it looks like a flower. Yeah, it does, like a really big, yeah. And that's the beauty of abstract art, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh. I am gonna see if this is still wet by chance and just add a little bit. I changed my mind. I'm good at that. Let's see if any of this is still wet too. I don't think it is. We're gonna just add a little bit here, a little bit here, here, here. It's gonna be ever so subtle because it is very liquidy. There. All right, now it's time for the tape pull. Let me do one more heat around the tape so it doesn't rip my paper, which I know it already did in this corner from earlier. All right, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, shoot. All right, next we'll do this one. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I got a little bit of a tear, but that's okay. All right, here we go. Next one. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Awesome. Here we go, last one. See that one already? I knew it already tore. Dun, 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 dun. Ta-da! All right, now let me zoom out of this. Ooh, you can see my whole desktop now. Okay, so we're gonna bring this in nice and close. Look at that beautiful reflection. Isn't that gorgeous? Am I right? I love those iridescents. So that is what we have done. You can see, I'm going to try to get some of these little accents. There we go. You can see those gold accent details up close. You can see the dot details up close. The white details up close. You can see the texture and the bronze up close. Beautimous. There we go. So that was today's. Let's see. Smile says, when the tape tears, I want to scream. How can all tears be prevented? Good question. So there are a couple of ways that I like to prevent tears. The first one is I use just regular Scotch tape. I know there's art tape out there. I've used it. It's more expensive than just this masking tape, Scotch, whatever. I will usually put it on a t-shirt first or my leg before I put it on the paper. It gets that initial stickiness off, but it's still sticky enough that I can get a nice border out of this. Well, the reason why I said Scotch is because it says Scotch right there. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure this is Scotch tape because I'm pretty sure this is what people talk. But masking contractor, yeah, see, masking whatever this is. So then I used this. Yeah, so this tape. So put it on a shirt, put it on a pant leg or just your regular leg. And then before you go to pull it off, use a heat gun like this or a hair dryer, just something with warmth that will heat up the stickiness under the tape before you pull. And then of course, pull it slowly. This one I knew was already messed up because when I went to put the initial tape on there, I ripped it back because it wasn't like an even line and it took the paper with it already. So I knew that one was gonna already be torn, but that's okay. It happens sometimes. So yeah, you could use painter's tape if you wanted. Again, I just use what I have. My husband had bought a giant tower of these, so this is what I'm using now, but I've used like the blue or green painter's tape. I've used the frog green painter's tape. I've used all sorts of different art tapes, which are more expensive, that work the exact same way. So whatever you have, just make sure that you get the initial stickiness off and then use warmth to heat it up before you pull it. I need to learn how to use the foil. I love it every time I see it. Yeah, you do, boo. And I can help you with that. You need adhesive sizing. I know this one says adhesive size. Some say sizing, some say size. Either way, you need an adhesive like this. It only tore because I didn't use heat so initially when I taped this down, and you'll see it in the playback, before I started painting at all, when I was originally putting the tape on there, I put it down and then I lifted it up to get a straighter line and it tore it. So I hadn't applied any heat. So this corner was already messed up to begin with. Jerry's has a Mother's Day sale. Oh gosh, you're going to get me in trouble, Lori. Yeah. So yeah, that's why this one was already an issue, but oh, okay. Thank you, Celine. All right, so aside from that, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go live at some point today to work on this bad boy, which I'm very excited about. This is dry. For those of you that plugged in last night, you saw that I was putting down the acrylic paint so that it would be dry for me to be able to make fancy things with today. So that's what I'm doing. And this is going to be definitely a big project I'm really excited to do. And yeah, so other than that, I hope you enjoyed our art time here this morning. And I'm still working on getting the replays up. It's a slow process, but it is going. And let's see here. Let me know when you go live next. Okay, I'll send you a message over TikTok. I have a few things I need to do, so it'll probably be closer to lunchtime. So, all right, you guys, have a wonderful Friday. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you later. Bye, everybody.